Roll it. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orfowitz. Wow, in New Hampshire, except I'm in Maine. Hey, who is this and where am I?
I'm Donna Beyer at the Kittery Trading Post Fishing Department.
And I see on your badge right there, you've been here 21 years. You know, I try to do some women's history during, well, March and beyond. Hey, we do history year-round for the wonderful women. You know, I've interviewed biologists and foresters. Now we have somebody in a different industry, in the retail industry. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that, Donna, and tell me a little bit about your background. How did you happen to, have you always been interested in fishing? I mean, you've been here in this fishing department a long time.
I have. I fished as a kid. I grew up in Hillsborough, New Hampshire, where there's water everywhere.
Nice river.
And then I got into horses about the same time I required a fishing license, and all the money all the time went that way. After I married, my husband and I decided it was something we could do together.
Nice, yeah.
And I've been doing it for about 35 years.
Wow, doing the retail end of the fishing end of things.
That I had always said there'd be only a couple of places I would work retail, and Kittery was one of them.
Nice folks here, awesome
Yes.
shop, yes it is.
I appreciated the fact that this was a while ago, admittedly, but I would go into shops to purchase equipment,
Right.
and they would turn to my husband.
Oh.
And so I saw an amazing amount of that for a while. I appreciated the places that didn't. Kittery was one of them. They take their customers as they are, who
Nice.
they are, and work from there.
Wow, great.
And
Good
it's-
history there.
Yes.
Now, I was here some months ago, and meaning to do this interview earlier on, but things go by. I was interested in the flow of how fishing has, how the whole flow goes through the year. When the ice fishermen come in, when the bass fishermen come in. I was intrigued by your comments about that. Tell me a little bit about the flow of fishermen through the Kittery
I
Trading Post
found
Fishing
that
Department.
You can almost, I joke about being able to put up a calendar one of these days and mark the weeks of the year when I expect to start seeing ice fishermen are already coming in and asking, where's the gear? Do you have it? And
What time of
looking.
year?
Now they're coming
Get
in
out.
to look. Months
July
ahead.
of
It
2024.
It sounds crazy, but they know they won't be fishing for months.
Right,
But if they can find a good buy, find something new,
okay,
they're going to be, and it gives them a chance to talk fishing.
right,
The fly fishermen, fly tyers especially, start coming in around December
okay,
because they've got the winter
Yep.
to tie flies. It's God's gift to us. But also what's new, what's coming out, and so on. You will see them. The first big serious people where the season's coming, of course, the ice fishermen are still, they start getting more intense around December.
okay,
And October will have gear for them.
yep,
Fly fishermen, certainly December. The salmon fishermen, along with the ice fishermen, it's just not this, and then they're done, and then the next they're adding in, and as you say, ebb and flow.
right,
But the salmon fishermen are the first guys to come in and start. They're planning for April 1st,
yep,
and so we're ready for that. Then you will get the deep water fishermen,
Okay.
the cod and haddock
ah,
fellows, because you'll get a few trips out during the
Okay,
winter,
yeah.
but they're out early.
okay,
So right after the salmon people, that's right about mid-February,
okay,
I would say. And then you will start seeing the trout fishermen, more so travelers,
okay,
of course, heading south,
ah,
but also getting ready for the season.
Yep.
Checking out the new reels, the new lines,
okay,
looking at the waders, and that's going to be, again, again, second week, third week in February.
Okay.
Then after that, the saltwater people
Okay.
getting ready because it's going to be a while. But if there's any chance anything is out there, they're going to be there. Have you
Okay.
heard about mackerel?
Okay.
Are there any stripers around? We get a lot of questions
So a lot
about
of questions.
that. And that's going to be right around March 1st.
Okay.
And then the last ones are the bass fishermen they're coming in. It's not that it's open door seasons here, but you'll start seeing them 1st of March, second week in March,
Okay.
getting ready.
Huh.
But they're about the last ones out.
So fishermen are dreamers. They're
Yeah.
ready to get ready to fulfill their dreams.
Yes, they're planning, and then we're always planning.
Right.
But there's a point where
You got to stay ahead of the
get
wave.
ready.
Yep, you got
Gotta
to be
get
ready.
ready.
You got to catch the wave like you're a
Yes.
surfer.
There's
So-
April 1st when salmon season opens. You've got to, if you're a salmon fisherman or a fly fisherman, that's the day
gotta be ready.
it hits. So you're in a good month early, 6 weeks early,
Okay.
looking for it.
Okay.
But it just fascinates me because I'm going, oh yeah, I was expecting you.
You can practically name them, huh?
Well,
So
that's,
tell me a little bit about, New England, Maine, New Hampshire has warmed over the last couple of decades. Have you seen how that has impacted our fishing here? Have you seen
it
any
has made
changes?
a huge difference. Every year we're hoping it's temporary, but ice fishing particularly, there's been so little ice. The big lakes, Moosehead is so far north, yes, the far northern lakes, there's been some good fishing. Sebago has not closed in for years. Winnipesaukee did not close this year. Last year, you couldn't really
Trust it.
trust it in most places, a few coves and so on. So fishermen have to be careful, and it's just difficult for them.
How has that impacted the business here?
It's made a difference. We're having to rethink and buy and prepare a bit more carefully. People are going to lighter gear, such as instead of the power augers,
Okay.
which we still sell a fair number of, but the lighter electric augers, and especially the drill
Okay.
augers
Yep.
with the Makita or
Okay.
Ryobi drills.
Yep.
Those just get bigger every year
Okay.
because they're less expensive and much lighter.
Right.
And the ice is not so thick that
But you
it's
need a big
concern.
power auger anymore.
No, I know a couple of guides
Wow.
that have been using them exclusively for years.
How about the saltwater fishing? Has the climate change, our ocean warming affected that too?
It definitely has, but not quite as absolute as the ice fishing has been.
Okay.
Striped bass are still here. It varies year to year, but there's a lot of reasons for that.
Right.
Pollution and
Bait availability.
bait
Yeah.
availability, and you get, one year there's a lot of young fish, the next year
Right.
not too many, so
Okay.
there's an ebb there.
Well, you mentioned like other species are coming here, like black
Yes.
sea bass, and you mentioned something else.
20 years ago, nobody in New Hampshire had heard of black sea bass, except for a few super nerds like Tim Moore.
Tim
who
Moore,
are-
yep. Hallelujah,
he's
Tim.
the one. I had never heard of a black sea bass
Okay.
until Tim posted it.
Okay.
They're a beautiful, sporty little fish, and they are here now. Not
Yeah.
in great numbers, but enough to make it worth trying for. Tautog, sometimes known as blackfish, big burly fish that have 10 years ago, they were not north of Boston Harbor
Okay.
really, and they're creeping up.
Huh.
And
So you're
finding
seeing
them.
change, and your customers are telling you about that.
Yes. And then albies are in more. You're seeing fish that went for a snack on the Gulf Stream and ended up here.
Okay, yeah,
More
yeah.
and more often.
Okay.
More variety of
Yeah.
sharks.
Okay.
There was a bonnethead shark in the Ogunquit
Huh.
River last week.
Wow.
saw a photograph. It's no exaggeration.
So you're seeing changes right here.
Yes, absolutely. Species are moving north to the cooler water where they're comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
The Atlantic salmon is virtually extinct
Right.
in North America.
Yeah.
There's a few places in Canada where
Right.
they exist,
Right.
but they're moving north and west,
Okay.
east,
Okay.
toward Norway and
Yeah,
Iceland.
yeah.
But there is a huge herd of striped bass in the
Okay.
Bay of Fundy.
Right. Wow.
So,
Well, things are changing.
yes,
Plenty to do.
very much so. There's good fishing.
And you said this year's been a
everywhere.
good spring for the Kittery Trade Post. They've
It
done good
has been,
business.
and a good spring and early summer for all of our fishermen. It's-
Nice. That's awesome.
I love people. It's like pictures. Just bring me the shots.
Nice to hear, Donna. This is awesome. Now, I'm glad I finally caught up to you. Donna is my catch of the day. Thank you very much. This is the wildlife
Anytime.
biologist, Eric Orfowitz, Wild in New Hampshire.